one, blue. Hey, good morning. Weather Extra. Here we go. It is Sunday, and what are we tracking here today? We're tracking some rainfall, and I know there's a lot of people who did not watch the newscast this morning because you're over on my page and you're saying, hey, it's raining and we getting severe weather right now. No, you're not. You have some rainfall, and you can see it on the radar there. What is there? Is there 3 strikes of lightning? That would probably be by that cluster that's over by Gadsden and Albertville. We had some very heavy rainfall here at the station about an hour ago. All this is just mainly rainfall with a few rumbles of thunder. This is not the severe weather event that we have in the forecast for tonight. Okay, I almost forgot to check comments. I forgot that that's over here too. There's a lot of things going on over here. I'm very confused sometimes. Hi, Vacation Valerie. Good to see you as always. You have a good Sunday. And if you have any questions, if you start asking about your towns and stuff, I will answer as many questions as I possibly can. That's how I roll. But if we start asking like for each and every single town in all of the area, I'll probably just generally give a forecast at that point. But the impact for the storms is not for today. 48 first alert weather day should be a 48 first alert weather night, really, because it's really after midnight tonight is when we're tracking the storms. I know the radar is active. If you have the WAFF 48 app and you're looking at it and you're going, wow, there's a lot of rain out there, and I'm kind of concerned. Don't be. These are just rain making storms, really. And they don't even have a lot of thunder. I don't even want to call them storms. I'd pause there because it's really just showers is all it is. There's another area, if you look on the radar there, to the west of Double Springs, and that is moving up into Russellville along 43. That'll be another area of showers and thunderstorms that will develop here in the next hour. And the showers and thunderstorms we have here during the day will come to an end about 1, 2 o'clock. And then you got this long stretch of very dry weather. The atmosphere will be capped. Sometimes when we have a line of storms, we call it a QLCS that comes in after midnight. You can have some discrete cells that lead into that line, and they can pack a punch with severe weather. At this time, it looks like the air will be capped, and the air aloft will be warm, and therefore we won't have that thunderstorm activity prior to the line coming in after midnight. Once the line moves into northwest Alabama, and I'll show you the timeline here in just a moment, it'll scoot on east and be out of here by early morning tomorrow. Now, the impacts when the storms come in, that line has a chance to produce some very, very, very strong winds, 60, 70 miles an hour. Heavy rainfall, there is a chance for tornadoes, and there is a chance for large hail. The large hail, I feel like, has backed off a bit in terms of happening for our area. Could still have a few tornadoes. Please keep in mind, though, everybody who writes me on email and they say, are we getting tornadoes tonight or not? No, but you may have wind gusts that are stronger than an EF0 tornado that could cause damage. So sometimes it's not just tornadoes. Sometimes it can be so much more. And winds can cause damage too, right? All right, where did I leave off? Profile of my left side that you'll see so many times. Adam, I just see where the SPC has just put us in enhanced risk. We were pretty much in an enhanced risk for most areas. Like that orange line that you see, that was it was in northwest Alabama pretty much the last 48 hours. Whether you're like on that line or just south and east of it, I think you just probably want to make sure you prepare for the worst. So because they moved it ever so much south and east, it really doesn't change the forecast. It's still the same. That line is generically, it's so close to being drawn in. It's hard to tell exactly where it's at usually. Though it does include Huntsville now, which makes a difference. But I don't think it really changes the forecast, just my opinion. We'll see how it plays out. Vacation Valley had a nice rain earlier. Leanne, good morning, Jeff from Russellville. Thank you ahead of the storms. We know you will keep us informed. We will. The whole team will have you covered, of course. Brad's updating things at home all morning long. Chelsea's in here tonight. Eric's in the morning. I covered this morning. Tyler wouldn't be here till tonight. He said, you'll be fine. Take a bath this morning. He said the lightning ain't in Albertville they said. All right, there you go, Tyler. Yep, take a bath. Take a bath if you want to take a bath or a shower, whatever you want to do. I'm going to just advance graphics now. Next 12 hours, here we go. What do we got? Thunderstorms, isolated storms, and then nothing at 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. That's a big part of the forecast because if we were to have some cells before the main line, it'd be an extra concern. But because we have an ability to cap the air, The air mass is capped. We don't have those severe storm threats in the evening. But after midnight tonight, we'll pick it back up again. So there's your storms, rainfall mainly this morning. A few storms in the Gadsden area east of Albertville. That's moving towards Fort Payne right now. If you're in Scottsboro, it's raining. If you're in Dutton, it's raining. If you're in Rainsville, it'll rain soon. It should rain in Rainsville, right? Section, Langston, some rain. Driving on 431. I was in beautiful Gunnersville yesterday. I was out there at my favorite little place. It's a little cigar place, and they have this beautiful patio back there, and you can look at the water, and it was comfortable, and there was a lot of boat action on the lake yesterday in Gunnersville. And a lot of people walking around the harbor, and as they walk by the cigar place, they cover their face up because they don't like to smell the smoke. But it's a gorgeous place to go, and I love Gunnersville. I had a good day down there. And Gunnersville getting a little rain now. Now, where you have the rain for areas east of I-65, moving from New Market down into Gurley, that's all moving northeast, okay? And as it continues to move away from the area, there's a few more showers and storms behind it that are developing in Double Springs, Russellville, and you can see another little cell trying to develop there in Coleman too. That's why I kept the showers and thunderstorms through about 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, storms today are not severe. They're just rainmakers. You're gonna have a little lightning, a little thunder. Obviously, if you have anxiety because of thunderstorm activity, this will probably be something you're gonna be like, oh, they said the severe weather's coming late tonight. And it is. This is just a couple thunderstorms during the day. But if you have anxiety for thunderstorms, like my dog Rubble does, it's going to freak you out a little bit. And I get it. I totally understand. Thunderstorms can be scary. But as long as you know, you're good. Stay informed. Best thing you can do. Kelly says, Moulton's in the house. Hi, Moulton. Good to see you, Kelly. Adam says, not so much of good sleeping weather tonight. Yeah, great point. Adam, that's like a volleyball serve for me. Now I'm going to try to spike that because that's a great segue. Very important with overnight storms when they go severe after midnight. If you're like me, you want to go to bed. I don't have to work tonight. Chelsea and Eric are covering the storms tonight. If you do have to go to sleep around 9 o'clock, you try to get some sleep and the storms come into your location after midnight, 1, 2 o'clock, you got to have something that gets you awake, right? Keep the sneakers. I always say this. Keep the sneakers by the bed. Any important paperwork you need, have it near the house, near the bed. Have it in like a backpack or something you could take out of the house, and have a way to be safe, or at least get up, right? And not just for the tornadoes, but the winds. If they're as strong as some of these gusts could be tonight, that's going to cause some damage too. So have a way to get up, whether it's a National Weather Service, if it's a weather radio with the National Weather Service updates that come on it, or if you have the WAFF 48 app, you'll hear Brad's voice come on. He'll be like, there's a severe thunderstorm warning for your area, and he talks to you. I mean, he wakes you up. I mean, you hear Brad in his sleep. It's amazing, right? Just have a way, in all seriousness, to be able to be prepared and be aware of what's happening outside, because you can't see. It's dark. It's scary, right? Totally intimidating. I get it. Thank you for the setup on that, Adam. I appreciate that. Kelly says, I work third shift. Yep, that's when the storms will be coming in tonight. Third shift. Especially in the Moulton area, closer to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock for you. It's funny, too, because like trying to time the storms has been hasn't been kind of. I hate when people use the word kind of. It's been frustrating because yesterday it slowed everything down, and now this morning's forecast model runs completely sped it back up again. So I didn't touch the timeline of it. Like we have noon. We have midnight to 4, 2 to 5, and I'll show you that graphic. It's coming right up. But I wouldn't be surprised if a few storms move into western Lauderdale County by about 11:30. So maybe a little bit before midnight. I'll show you that in a moment. I hope it holds off to Vacation Valerie from 6 to 9 p.m. because if not, my forecast is wrong, and I'm just a big old idiot, and I apologize about that. All right, let me change the graphic here, everybody. Boy, I can't see, so. There's your highest storm threat. If you're going to see packages done in national news, we call them packages when we put the stories together, I would venture to say that if you're Arkansas, West Tennessee, northern Mississippi, up towards Illinois, the highest threat for all locations in the U.S. today and tonight will be in those areas. That's where we could have numerous tornadoes. For our area, probably more of a wind event, but still you can't, whenever the tornado threat is not zero, I still have to mention it. Say elevated between low and moderate, The large hail, I could actually pull that down to green probably. I don't think we get much in the way of hail. There'll be some small hail, but not the large damaging stuff. Yesterday, some of the forecast models were spitting out like golf ball size, baseball size hail for our area. It's backed off tremendously. The rainfall could be about 2-3 inches of rain. Depends on how quickly the storms move through. I'd say more like a 1 to 2, more than a 2 to 3. And then I bumped the winds up to 60 plus. I do think there's going to be some gusts stronger than that too. And I think the winds become the primary story with this. But there's just severe storms. What I did was I moved it up to 9 p.m. there on Sunday, right? Notice that there's nothing happening, just cloud cover in the Tennessee Valley, including Middle Tennessee and northern Alabama. This is the time frame that we're capped. This is the time frame that we would be looking to see if there's any storms preceding that line that you see there on the graphic, right? So I don't see anything. That's good. That's what you want. If something were to pop during this time, it'd be a little different. You got to pay more attention before midnight. But at this time, that line comes in, and notice this particular forecast right now has it almost at 11 p.m. I think that might be just a little fast, but nonetheless, you get the idea that when that line that you see right there, stretching all the way from Nashville down to Tupelo comes in, that is when it's strongest at this point right here, when it moves into northwest Alabama, and then it will probably weaken just a little bit, become a little bit more in the way of a rain and wind maker at this point. Areas northwest, when it first enters into northwest Alabama and Lawrence County, if we're going to have some kind of tornado, I think that's when it's going to be. But as the line continues to move east, it's rain, it's wind, and then eventually pushes east out of Georgia sometime tomorrow morning. There's a slight chance of a shower or storm into the afternoon on Monday behind it, but most of the rain and certainly the severe threat looks like it will be over at that time. A lot of you asking me yesterday if it will impact the schools on Monday morning. I'm not a superintendent, so I'm not entirely sure, but I can tell you right now that there'll be an impact at least with rain and wind tonight and tomorrow morning. If that's enough to cancel school or delay it, then that's the superintendent's call. So it looks like I did not catch up on the graphics fast enough. I hope I didn't miss anything. Wow. Good morning, Tammy. I see you on. Nikki says spruce pine is here, which is good. I'm trying to catch up on the top. Oh my gosh, there was a lot of comments. I'm so sorry that I did not answer this fast enough, everybody. Oh my. All right. Bear with me, everybody. I'm scrolling up and I apologize. All right. Every time I scroll up, somebody writes a comment. I'm going to cheat this. Bear with me for just a moment, everybody. For anybody's comment that I missed, I appreciate it. I saw somebody say frustrated. I never want to see frustrated on a comment because that makes me feel like I missed a comment. I don't want to do that. Bear with me for just a minute, everybody. What I'm going to do, too, real quick is I'm going to pop the 10-day up for you. I think I'm going to. Come on now. We are so far away from the weather computer in here. All right, where'd it go? All right, let me see what I got here. Any questions, just ask, but your particular town, I'll do the best I can. That was the bath comment. I found that. I dread tonight after midnight. Molten at Walmart isn't safe. Well, be safe, please, if you have to go to work. Petra, going to work at 4:15 a.m. right in the middle of the storm. That's, yep, that could be, depends on where you're at. By 4:15, if you're west, it'll be over at that point. But if you're east, you're getting into it. Hi, Albertville. Hi, Tegan. Good to see you on. Thank you for saying hi. Tammy's on. I said hi to Tammy. I see Spruce Pine in the house. That's from Nikki. Kelly, are you all like me, work third shift? Third shift can be tough. So I inherited with the weather app. Will not let me change it from future radar. I've tried everything. Oh, David, just send me an email. Find my email, and I'll send you literally a video on how to fix it for you. For those of you who don't know, our app got updated like 7 months ago. It defaulted to future radar instead of current radar. We figured it out when people were writing us and being like, the radar doesn't match your app. And I sent out a video on my page way back then, and I have it all. I literally walk you through the process of switching it. If you have any problems, just send me an email and I will make it work for you. If I can't get you to have it work, I will literally come to your house and fix it for you. I promise. I've done it for like 4 people already. So, Bill Beck says, I'm old. I was rewatching yesterday's video. Bill Beck, you're the best. You're not old, buddy. This whole techie thing, kind of crazy for me. Like, I'm an old man too. I get it, but I'm getting this down. Tatiana helping me out. That's why. If Tatiana was not here to set this whole thing up for me, you wouldn't see me in this little circle right here, and you wouldn't see that 10-day forecast up there. You'd be like, what is he doing? All right, I got to talk about the 10-day, though, but I missed a whole bunch of I missed a whole bunch of comments. Petra, Tanner and Madison, you'll have some storms overnight, probably 4:30. They're just about east of you at that point. Rhonda's watching. Taylor says, how about are you expecting for the North Athens? Taylor, same thing as really everybody else. Storms that could produce gusty winds, heavy rain, and frequent lightning. And there is a low-end tornado chance. Kelly, my lunch is at 2 a.m. Kelly comments, thank you for reading. Diana, so the storms now through this afternoon, are they severe? No. Diana, any storms that you have this afternoon are not severe. They're rainmakers. They'll scare people if they don't like thunderstorms. But right now, that is not a severe threat for us. The 48 first alert weather day that you see on that 10-day for Sunday is really for tonight into Monday. But the storms that are happening today, right now, it's mainly just rainfall. They're not severe. I hope that you asked that question like 3 minutes ago, and I'm way behind on comments, and I'm really sorry. How quickly do you think the storm will come to go to Huntsville area? Do I need to stay awake for an hour or 2 or 3? Victoria, they're going to probably come through Huntsville around 1 or 2. I don't know what time you go to bed, but around 1 or 2, closer to 1 or 2 probably, maybe even 3 for you. But in that time frame after midnight to 3 a.m. in the Huntsville area, I would be keeping an eye on the radar. Bill Beck, Jeff, you know I'm worried about that water. I know you are. I would be worried too after what happened with the rainfall you had last time, my friend. Afternoon. Nope, I answered that question, Diana, already. You just have to give me a chance. I'm sorry. I answer slow, and I'm so sorry. Skylar, hi again. Going to last short moving storm for Athens. Hi again. How long is it going to last? Is it a short? The storms today go to about 2, 3 o'clock. The storms tonight are midnight to about, for Athens, to about 3 a.m. In Athens, and what's the update for here? Candace, same thing as everybody else. Storms happening today that aren't severe. Some rain probably staying to your east today. And then tonight after midnight through about 3 a.m. for Athens, you'll have some wind, some rain, some thunderstorms. They'll be loud, they'll be bright, and they could be severe. The winds themselves will probably be the biggest concern, 60, 70 mile an hour winds. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Kelly. I appreciate that. Good. All right, where did I go? All right, I'm just going to kind of keep up now over here. What time will they roll through New Market? Richard, depends on which thunderstorms you're talking about. There's some today that are rolling through non-severe through about 1 or 2, and then the next round comes in after midnight, probably hit your area about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Anna, I really hope the weather doesn't get tornadic in Athens. Yeah, I hope it doesn't get tornadic anywhere, to be honest with you. I hope this all plays down and it turns out to be a big old rain event and nothing. But unfortunately, I really think the winds are a concern. Everybody focuses on the tornadoes, but if we get 60, 70 mile an hour winds, those are stronger than like an EF0 tornado, or they're close to it anyway. They're just coming at a different direction. So, but anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully all the severe weather plays down. That's what I'm hoping for. I get it. Kelly, thank you. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Destiny, maybe Wednesday and Thursday, bad weather too. Yes, Destiny's talking about the 10-day forecast, and I'm going to address that. Destiny, thank you. That's another volleyball. Boom, Jeff Spike. Here we go. Weather extra time. So after the storms move out Sunday, Monday, Destiny brings up a good point. She's looking at that 10-day forecast as she sees storms Thursday, Friday. I want to just point out a couple things. I bumped the temperature up for Wednesday, Thursday. We could actually have record high temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. The record Wednesday in Huntsville is 86. I got 85, all right? So you add a little juice, right? So Thursday is the next target time for severe weather. Right now it looks like it's mainly north and west of us, but obviously it's 5 days out. We got to keep you updated. So that's what we'll do, okay? That is for Thursday. Ariel in Fayetteville, you have the same timeline as everybody else pretty much that I've talked about. Your timeline would be Fayetteville probably about, we'll say around 2 a.m. And that would be when the strongest storms will be getting to your area. You'll probably hear some thunder before that though. Anderson. Hi, Anderson. Good to see you in, Deborah. Thank you for saying hi. I appreciate that. Good, good, good. Hi, Donna, I'm headed to Vanderbilt at 5 a.m., leaving from Tuscumbia. Will there be... Yes, Donna, at that point, I would imagine if you're leaving from Tuscumbia to go up to Vanderbilt by 5 a.m., everything is east of you at that point, okay? You should be good to go. Good to go. Ken, Decatur, about 2 a.m. Storms today, non-severe. Next line after midnight, 2 a.m. Decatur. There you go. I thought I had... What did I do with my time graphic? There's the radar. You know what I did? I made a mistake, Tatiana. I have a graphic that has a time on it. I forgot to put it up, and I can't go in there. But you know what I can do? I can keep just answering the times for people's towns. Is that okay? You all right with that? Tatiana's like, stop talking to me. Look at the camera and stop talking to me. Tatiana in the house, everybody. If I didn't have her here, this wouldn't be happening because I can't do all this. This is way beyond Jeff's knowledge right here, okay? Any tornadoes for Athens tonight? Skylar, there's a possibility for tornadoes, yes. Valerie, Susan, what's up? I'll be driving back from Nashville, leaving around 9:30. Will I be back from Nashville by then? Well, I don't know where you're going to be back to, Susan. I need to know where you're driving to, what town. If you're driving to Huntsville, Nashville's like a 2-hour drive, so you'd be back by 11:30. You would probably beat the storms to Nashville. Now, if you're driving to Florence or Shoals, you'll get there about when the storms start. If you're driving to Sand Mountain or Lookout Mountain, you are home way before the storms even get to you. Okay? Diana, I appreciate that, Diana Maxwell. Thank you. That's very sweet. I'm going to put a like to that. Like. Yep, thank you. Will I cancel school, Matthew says. I don't know. I don't know. Unfortunately, it's above my pay grade to be a superintendent who makes those calls, but I can say this, that there'll be an impact on the weather tonight and tomorrow morning. If that might cause some delays, it could be. I feel like sometimes they really close the schools really quick here for safety purposes, which is completely the right thing to do. You want to make sure that students are safe when weather hits, even if it's just wind and not tornadoes. And so, I think you would always want to err on the side of caution, but that's just me, but I don't make that call, though. Murray, oh, beautiful Vinemont is in the house. I love Vinemont. You know, I've been down there quite a bit. I go to Coleman and Vinemont quite a bit. But Mary, you want to know when the storms are going to hit. You don't care if I've been to Vinemont. And you have some storms today. They're going to be firing up, but they're not severe. The ones tonight for you come in after midnight, and for Vinemont, probably a little closer to like 2, 3 o'clock. Lightning strike in front of our house and lost power at 8:15. Hey, I appreciate, Alyssa, with the updates, because that is exactly what I'm talking about right there. So you have some storms. You see the radar. I put it back up. I talked about when we first came on here that there was some lightning in and around like the Boaz, Albertville area over to Gaston. And we have not had any severe weather. Lightning is not severe storms, unfortunately. But lightning is really dangerous still. And it can cause fires. And it can knock out power. And it can have lightning strikes. And that's why it doesn't have to be always a severe thunderstorm, in quotes, I was in quotes in this way, to be a big time impact for you. You know, we've had storms that produce 50-mile-an-hour winds, and they're not severe. They're just like special weather statements and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, we'll get like a flood of trees down in this one area, and the winds were like only 50 miles an hour. Causes a lot of damage, right? Definitely could be dicey. I see the lightning strike. Kelly, thank you. Gina, any idea of wind speed and where high winds will hit? I think anywhere along the line. When the line moves into northwest Alabama and it moves all the way across from midnight to 5 a.m., anybody in that line, when it hits your town, could produce some damaging winds. If I wanted to be like bold, really bold, and say, as it gets closer to Sand Mountain and Lookout Mountain for areas east, maybe not quite as much wind, but I'm not ready to say that yet because I still think everybody needs to keep their guard up and be prepared. But I would say the strongest winds will probably be up until northwest Alabama to about Huntsville. That's when you can see the strongest winds. Eddie, hey, thanks for informing us. What about the time? Moulton, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Storms today, not severe. Storms tonight after midnight, 1 to 2. Amy, is it going to be one line event or several different storms? It's a great question, Amy. That goes back to the whole situation of we don't have, does not look like we'll have any kind of discrete cells developing before the main line. So what happens is it's like you have what's happening now. You see the radar. There's a few storms out there till about 1, 2 o'clock. And then there's like this big long pause before the storms come back in at midnight. If we were to get development in between that time frame, that would be a huge concern. But as of right now, it does not look like that's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be more after midnight with a very distinct, we call it a little QLCS line. And sometimes you can have some embedded tornadoes in that, but usually they're big time wind makers and a lot of rainfall, and usually a light show out there. I think Brad mentioned on his page yesterday that this will play out very similar to like a summertime storm line. It's not like your typical March or April severe line. It's different, if that makes sense. Kelly says, the wind broke my dogwood tree without any rain or storms. Yeah, we've had some gusty winds lately too. It doesn't have to always be severe thunderstorms to cause some damage, right? I had this big limb in my backyard that I had to pick it up. I was like, oh, I feel like I worked out because it was so big. I had to move it to the I call it the garbage pile. The pile of all the stuff that I take out of my gardens and all the limbs and everything that are over there. And that pile is now as high as the shed. What am I going to do with it? But yet, Ken, I said around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock indicator. But yeah. Kelly, sounds like more storms again. Next weekend, yeah, it looks pretty active, that 10-day forecast. Not so much Monday afternoon or Tuesday. Even Wednesday looks okay. It's like Wednesday night through the weekend. And the Trash Pandas have their home opener Friday night. And they're here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, off Monday. Then they play 6 at home again. That could be tricky to get the games in this weekend. I mean, it's still really early. There's going to be times when it's not raining. So hopefully it'll be during the games. Sorry for the gulp, everybody. I have to have coffee. If I don't have coffee, I'm going to fall asleep. Carolyn Andrews, hello all. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you doing? Good to see you on. I'm just hanging around. As for those of you who don't know, we do this weather extra every single Saturday and Sunday morning at 8:15. Tatiana comes in, sets it all up, and we're here to inform you, even not on severe weather days. And there's no severe weather happening now, except for a lightning strike in Boaz, though, that caused some power outages. It's technically not severe, but it's still impactful. But you can see on the radar, the cluster of rain is just embedded into portions of Sand Mountain and also into Lookout Mountain up I-59. Heaviest of rainfall just to the north and east of Albertville right now, moving into the Fort Payne area. And then areas west, we see a little bit more development out towards Hamilton, Double Springs. That's just some shower activity. There was a little dot of red right near Coleman moments ago. That's turned out to be mainly just a shower. Looks like there's a shower maybe near Valamoso Springs near 231. I can't see this graphic. I don't have my glasses on, but I'm kind of guessing. No, I see it. I see it enough to let you know. I'm just kidding with you. Vacation Valerie, the hostess with the mostest, saying hi to everybody because she rocks. Barbara, you're very welcome. That's very kind of you. Thank you. We thank you for following WAFF 48 and following our meteorology staff to keep you safe. We appreciate that. Wow. I am 7 minutes behind comments. Tatiana, have you ever seen that? I don't think so either. I love you all this morning. All right. Let me get my glasses on here for a second. I don't have the weather graphics in here, so I'm just leaving the radar up. If anybody wants to see something different, try to let me know. I will run in there and change it, I guess. I'll change the graph. I'll figure something out. That's just what I do. All right. Kristen, leaving 5 a.m. from Phil Campbell, heading to Children's South. Should we be okay? Yes, if based on the timing right now, those storms will be long gone out of Phil Campbell by 5 a.m., so you should be good. Now, if there's any damage along the way, like some trees down where you're going, that could be the possibility, but the storms will be out. I need my radar updated, Eddie. Just send me a message. If you have future radar on your app and you cannot get it back to current, it's like literally it's like a 2-button change. It's really easy. And I can help you, I promise. Just send me an email so I know. Actually, you know what I can do? I have my phone. Duh. What an idiot I am, right? You jerk. All right. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. So the radar, you pull up the radar, you hit the radar button all the way to the far right, right? Okay, now what you have is, I have it set up as now. If you are one person that has future, see the future button? All you want to do is hit the 3 little starry things on the right side. There's 3 little buttons right there on the far right. Now, if anything pops up on my phone you're not supposed to see, I'm going to get in big trouble. So what happens is you're going to see all these different options down here. One of them is future radar, right? And you don't want future. You want to hit the one on the far left. And I had future set up because I was actually using it to forecast this morning. But if you hit precipitation, okay, let me make sure I'm saying this right because I don't want to mess this up for y'all. Precipitation radar. It's the button on the far left. This is this easy to fix this. You hit that button and boom, the radar is back to normal just like that. And you get to see where all the rain is, okay? I don't know why. You don't have to email me. That's a waste of time. Just listen to me. It's all good. Who am I right now? I'm a mess. So that's how you fix it. If your radar is on future, just go to radar, do it again to make sure you all see. It's loading the commercial. Now I know why people get frustrated with our app. You go over to radar, you got the future, it's set for future right now, right? You just click the 3 little buttons right above future, make sure it says precipitation radar, and boom, bada bang, you got yourself the current radar. All right. Done. Done. Got that. All right, where do we go? Where do we go from here? Ken says it's crazy these storms are going to be so strong so late. Yeah, and a lot of people don't like those overnight storms when it's dark outside, and I get it. It's freaky. You know, you don't see what's happening outside. Not that daytime storms are any better, but like the nighttime whole thing is, you know, a lady wrote us the other day, and she's like, why are these storms always happening at night? Unfortunately, it's just bad luck at this point. It's not like any kind of weather setup. It's just the fronts keep moving through at night, you know. Kelly, I'm glad you liked the information. Thank you. Bill Beck, we need a weather cha-cha-cha emoji. Oh, don't think I won't make a cha-cha-cha emoji. Let me see what I can do. Let me work on this, all right? So even when the weather is severe, I will always be serious. You know I am. But you got to have some fun with it too, right? Days when it's not severe, you got to have some fun with it. Thank you. Send me that picture of the dogwood. Did the severe thunderstorm last weekend knocked it out? Okay, let me know. Hi, Chelsea, Gunnersville. Let me see what we got for Gunnersville. I was in Gunnersville yesterday. It's so beautiful, Chelsea. I want to live there. Find me a home. Please find me a home so I can sell my current home and move there. But Gunnersville is more like you'll have some showers and storms. You have a few out there today. I just want to let you know those aren't severe. But the main line that we're tracking for Gunnersville would be later at night. You're like one of the last areas to get it. We'll probably be closer to 3, 4 o'clock. And that would be the highest impact. I still think the storms will lose a little oomph before they get to you, but 3, 4 o'clock. In the morning, that is. Valerie, I'm out of here. Keep yourself updated with that weather today. Use the WAFF 48 app. Vacation Valerie, 7 minutes ago. Look at you plugging us. You're the best. Bill Beck, timeline for DeKalb County. Joseph, you got some showers and storms out there till about 2, 3 o'clock today that aren't severe. But your main line, the one that we're watching, will hit you about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. Angela, potential for flooding? That's a great question, Angela. I don't think so. I think the line of storms will move fast enough to avoid flash flooding. Could you have some big puddles in your backyard? Yeah. Could the rivers rise tomorrow after the rain falls? Yeah. But it's still like a 1 to 2 inch rain event, but moving pretty quick. I think that should limit it, though. Great question. Somerville in the house. Hi, Christy. You have storms, too. You'll have some storms today. Tonight, you'll have some storms, too. Around 1, 2 o'clock, Decatur, Somerville area. Hi, Jason. Good morning to you. Good to see you on. Hi, Christine Tinker from Bryant. Good to see you. Good morning, Jeff. Rogersville. We'll say around 1 a.m. tonight. That's the strongest line. You might have a few storms up until about 1 or 2 p.m., but these aren't severe today. The one you're concerned about and asking about is overnight 1 a.m. Hi, Melissa. I see a whole bunch of smiley faces. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to counter your 3 smiley faces with a smiley ha 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 right back at you. What do you think of that? I got you 4 minutes ago. I'm way behind. Timeline for St. Joseph, Tennessee area. Victoria, it's really like an overnight after midnight event. I would keep an eye on the radar from midnight to 4 a.m. for you. That's what I would do. Don't ever leave WAFF. I like that comment. That's great. Hi, Christy. Good to see you all. Christy Bradford. Hi, good morning to you. Travis, what time should we take up in Athens to start watching? Not the storms today. They're like, they're rain. Could have a little gusty winds with some heavy rain at times, but And then tonight, I would probably start keeping an eye on things about 11:30 p.m. At least put the radar on if you have 48 or whatever app you use, but we want you to use ours, obviously. And then I would start watching. And I keep an eye on things about 1, 2 o'clock for Athens. That's what I would do. That's what I'm going to do when I go home. I'm going to play a little PS5, and when it gets time for the storms and I can lose power, I don't want to mess up my baseball game I got going on. So I turn the PS5 off, and then I watch the storms. I keep people updated. If it gets really nasty, I will likely drive in here and try to help. But I think Chelsea and Eric will probably be A-OK covering it way better than I ever could. Caroline, you're awesome too. I'm going to put a big heart to that. If anybody ever wants to take the time to say that, I'm going to give you a big heart and say, you're awesome too. What do you think of that, Caroline? Carolyn is actually awesome because she actually totally is, because she works for the Red Cross, and I've talked about this before. And when Kentucky was going in Tennessee, there was like all that flooding going on. She was there donating her time with the Red Cross, American Red Cross, which is awesome. Thank you, Kelly. I'm going to put a heart to that, too. Stan Barbie, good morning, my good friend, Stan. Stan, you got one more day of rain to add that lofty rain total you got in your backyard, my friend. Stan sends me updates about his rain because he has a rain gauge and keeps track of it because he's the best. Stan, you have a good day, my friend. You're the best kind of mess. Yeah, I'll put a heart to that, too. I am a big old mess, I promise. Daiquiri, what a great name. Baileyton in the house. Love Baileyton. 3 o'clock a.m. Baileyton, 3. That would be our time, I would think. Maybe we'll go closer to 3 for you. So today, got some rain out there, but don't get fooled. That's not the severe weather, Daiquiri. That's going to come tonight after midnight, so around 3 o'clock, okay? Cha-cha-cha. Oh, I see that. Okay, you all getting the little cha-cha graphics up there. Okay, I got you. Hi, Sandra from beautiful Hollywood. Yep, I know it's Hollywood, Alabama, but I still sing it like. Did you like that? My face turned red. I did that on air one time when Sean was here. Sean worked in mornings for a long time, for like a year and a half with me. And I did it on air one time, and he was like, "No, you did not." I said, "Oh, no, I did." But anyway, I love Hollywood. Anyway, checking in. Hi, Sandra. You got some rain in Hollywood right now, and in all seriousness, that's not severe weather. What you see on the radar is simply just some rainfall. If you hear some thunder, it does not look like it will be severe weather here through the early afternoon for you. But your main line of storms for you in Hollywood, you are way later tonight, okay? So midnight for Northwest Alabama, by the time it gets you to Hollywood, you're like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, all right? It's way late. We'll say 4. This way it gets you up in time to see it. Okay. Dave Luddy, good to see you on, my friend. I see you. Good morning. Thanks for the updates. Thank you. Hey, no mowing the lawn today, my friend. Nope. I'm not letting you do it. I had outdoor plans today. I was going to try to hedge and stuff. And the rain got everything wet. I can't do it today. I'll have to wait until another day. Darn. Hi, Kim. Good to see you on from Tuscumbia. Bill Beck. What is that? I can't see. It's like some kind of weather icon. Is that like a little guy? I like that. Claire, good morning from Florence. It's good to see you on. Mugs up. Cheers. Coffee time, which is now called Weather Extra. Kelly, everyone charge your phones. Great advice, Kelly. That's good stuff. I joke around and I want to have fun with you all, but Kelly brings up a good point. Have some ways to get not only your updates, make sure you charge your phone. I'm kind of a dork about this, but I like to put gas in my car beforehand. You just never know. Fill it up. If you're on dead empty, and I don't know, we have massive power outages, which I don't think we will, but if we did, gas stations might not have gas. Now what are you going to do? You can't go nowhere. You don't got gas, right? I always pick up things that I can eat that don't require power. So, and I have a grill in the back too. So even canned goods, I'm really gross. I eat baked beans cold out of the can. Is that really gross?
It looks
Interesting though, right? Yeah. And I'll eat them right out of the can, and I buy a whole bunch of those, and I'll just eat them if I lose power or something. So, well, things you didn't know about Jeff Desnoyers until you hang out with him for Weather Extra. All right, you're still watching the radar. I got it up. One thing I love about working back here, this split screen thing, is I can talk to you all, even though I'm turned like this the whole time practically, but you can still see the radar. That's wicked cool. I'm a big fan, okay? And I've talked about the timeline to the storms many times. I don't know if I can cycle back. Can I cycle back? I don't know. I'd have to go switch it. I'm kind of stuck on radar. Oh, you know what I can do? Watch this. Nothing gets by Jeff Desnoyers. Watch. Here we go. Come on. Come on. I'm going to try to go backwards. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot the timeline. So there's the threats. Oh, got nothing on this. All right. Where did I leave off? Hi, Claire. Good morning from Florida. I said that already. Charge phones. Bill Beck. Jeff, we need weather extra on location in a different town every weekend. Bill Beck. I really like you, my friend, but if you say that too loud, it's going to happen, and I can't do that. Though I would come out and hang out with you any day. No doubt about that. Tatiana's like, don't! We're headed to Florence. Here we come. Marshall County checking in. Hi, Jen. There was some storms in Marshall County this morning with some heavy rainfall. I had the radar up, and I'll put it back up in a second. For you, it's like Guntersville area. Like it's like around 3 o'clock, you know. Depends on what part of Marshall County you're in, but if you're closer like Guntersville, 3. If you're like north Marshall County, like New Hope, maybe like 2:30. Thank you for laughing with me and not at me, Kelly. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, Jen, great. She says she's very thankful for the rain because the pollen has been kicking booty. It has, right? If anybody, like I was in Guntersville yesterday, and it had rained a little bit. It wasn't a lot of rain in Guntersville, but it was just enough. When I was driving down there, all the puddles had all the yellow on it, and the puddles, and everybody takes a picture of the pollen on the puddles. It's kind of cool. Well, anyway, what was really crazy, in the lake itself, all washed up on the shore by like where you walk along the harbor, it was just covered in yellow. Like everything was yellow pollen. And the waves were pretty choppy yesterday because there was a pretty good breeze. And it was still like you could see it everywhere. It was all over. It was crazy. Hi, Melva from Bridgeport, Alabama. I love that area. It's just near essentially one of my favorite places to go, which is Dutton in the Scottsboro area. But I've been in the Bridgeport area quite a bit. And of course, Christine Tinker's from Bryant. Y'all are very close out there. But Bridgeport, you get everything really late tonight. You got some rain out there now, but your storms are going to fire up after midnight west, so they don't get to you until probably like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be a while. And again, I'm going to say this before I start to wrap this up. Got to watch out for the evening hours. If we don't have those storms in the evening, the forecast look good and everything I've been telling you straight up. But if we start popping some storms between like 6 and 9 a.m., Chelsea's going to be here, and she will keep you updated. At this time, it does not look like we will have those cells develop before the line. But that's what changes this forecast, and it's a very pivotal part of the forecast. If things fire up preceding the line in the evening, it's something to watch. I don't think it happens, but if it does, it's something we got to keep an eye on, okay? Hi, Powell. I see Powell checking in from Deborah. Like that area, too. Driven on 75, coming down through Rainsville. I know that area very well. I know that area a lot. But you, Powell, will have everything mainly later. I know you got some rain out there now on the radar, and I'll put the radar back up. I showed you the severe storms potential. There's your radar. Powell, some rain's happening now. Probably heavy for you, too. I would imagine along 75 and 35, some heavy rain there. But that is not any kind of severe weather happening in your backyard right now in Powell. Deborah, you're good. But your storm threat, the line of storms that's stronger, comes in after midnight. And for you in Powell, it's really almost like 4 or 5. It's really Monday morning for you. Bill back. Jeff is on his back porch in shorts, undershirt, eating cold beans straight from the can. Well, that is me too. Like I'll huddle like this, like you ain't get my beans. Okay. No. Kelly, Philip Ricard, very good. Deborah, you eat beans out of a can, you'll have plenty of gas. Oh, I see what you did right there. You made me blush. And she tied in the two story. You see that right there. Oh, Deborah, you good. That was awesome. Christine Tinker, what time the bad weather for me? Not what's happening in your backyard now. You got some rain coming to your house in Bryant, Christine, really soon, okay? And it may be heavy, and you may have some thunder. I don't see much lightning or anything, but your timeline is like way overnight, like after like almost like 5 a.m. for you, 4 or 5 a.m., okay? Jen says that Douglas Boas had a nice little downpour there, but the birds are back chirping, and they are out and about. Oh, anybody have a hummingbird sighting? I did at my house like a week ago. I was like a week and a half ago. So hummingbirds, the ruby red-throated, they're coming up from the south, and there has been a sighting If you go to the hummingbird migration page, some of you are really into this, and if you're not, you think I'm some kind of freak, and I get it. But a lot of people love hummingbirds. They put their feeders out, and this is like a yearly ritual for those of us who do that. And seeing them spotted across North Alabama gets a lot of people giddy and excited. And they have actually been spotted all the way up to Middle Tennessee now, at least based on the migration page. So if you have your hummingbird feeders not out yet, you may want to get them out and about. Speaking of birds, okay. Got to bring me back sometimes. You say one thing and I keep going. Ken says, I wonder if the shelters will be open. I imagine anytime there's a tornado watch that's issued, they open them. And I don't know how they're going to go about this, but I would think they're going to probably err on the side of caution. There'll be a tornado watch at some point. Okay, that's just, I don't make that call. That's the National Weather Service working with the SPC, and that is way beyond me. But however they watch it, whether it's severe thunderstorm watch or if it's a tornado watch, I'm sure they'll go tornado. Once that happens, I think it's game on for the shelters, right? I'm pretty sure. Jen's talking about the garden lights. Yeah, that's much safer, no batteries. Oh, those solar ones? I have them, they're awesome. Solar lights for your gardens, they're great. Hi, Adrian, checking in from Grant. Great place. I appreciate it. Lexington time frame, just tuned in. That's okay. Hi, Blake. There's some showers and storms today, Blake, until about 1, 2 p.m. They're not severe. Tonight, the line comes in after midnight. Areas west should get to you in Lexington pretty quick, so around 1 o'clock for you. I hope that helps. Jen says her feeders are out and waiting. Glenda says thank you for the updates. You're very welcome. And I'm glad, Kelly, this made your day. This form of entertainment is here for your amusement every Saturday and Sunday morning at 8:15, as long as I don't have the day off or have to work a night shift. That's your disclosure. For the rest of you are warned. I got to go. You still with me? I would have fallen asleep like 20 minutes ago. She's here to make sure I hit this green button properly. So, and seriously, Chelsea's in here tonight. She'll have the very latest. If anything pops in the evening, she's got your back. Eric Burke comes in later tonight. I'm sure the two of them will be here cross shift, keep an eye on things. I might even call Eric today. I don't think they don't need me to come in. They got this way beyond my knowledge, so they're all set. Eric will ride it through the morning tomorrow. And then I think, if I'm correct, Chelsea's back tomorrow night because I work for Brad Wednesday and Thursday. So it's a weird schedule. And even though Brad's taking some time off, that man doesn't stop working. Okay, so Brad will have updates on his page, I imagine, throughout the entire day. Even though he's supposed to be focusing on a little time and a little R&R for himself, he probably will still keep you updated because he just cares, and that's the way he is, okay? Everybody have a fantastic day. Be safe with the storms tonight. I couldn't keep up.